Hello everyone, I am Walt, and today we are talking about the beginning of unit number 11. Yep, and this one is all about development and aging with the internet. So, as people grow and develop and stuff like that and age, then how does the internet play into this? How does the internet affect people at different ages? How does it help them or hurt them, hinder them, etc.? All that kind of fun stuff. So, to start off with here, we're going to start talking a little bit about early age development. As a lot of people at kind of early ages are, there's this whole idea of screen time, and one must have the proper amount of screen time. You don't want too much screen time, or the kids will have their health wrecked, and, they'll grow up to be antisocial, and they won't talk to anybody, and they won't work with anybody, and, they're just going to be glued to their phones. Their phones are going to be addictive. Oh, this internet thing, that's a whole problem, We got this whole issue with the internet. It's all terrible, And basically, that's kind of just what we're working against, because every piece of new technology, as we know from the first unit here that I discussed, basically every piece of new technology is said to be addictive. It's said that it's going to ruin, like every culture ever. I'll also link up the video here for, nice little musical number for, We've Got Trouble and stuff, because it's a good example, that's a good, go-to of how you can convince people of the fact that there's trouble, there's something that's a problem, something that needs to be, dealt with. And the musical number, as you can see, it's a simple one of, okay, guess what, people playing pool instead of billiards, that's going to ruin society, And you can convince people of this kind of new technology all the time. People are always convinced by new technology that's going to ruin society. Oh, these novels, these bicycles, oh, this thing, this other thing. People always think it's going to ruin society, so that's nothing new. But what about the internet here? Isn't the internet actually addicting people, getting them to be, all just like they're on drugs here, basically, they're glued to their screen, can't get away from their screen, all that kind of stuff? Isn't that true? Well, no, it isn't. So that's an interesting finding. I'll link up some of the articles in the description and stuff here as well if you want to check out some of the evidence behind that. But no, internet is not going to be addictive to these people in this way. But then people are like, okay, so what about like early child development? Isn't this going to ruin social skills? Actually, no. It actually tends to increase people's social skills. It's a good predictor for, people's interactivity if they have a moderate level of internet use. Now, of course, there are going to be some problems if somebody's on the internet like almost all of the time. They're just not sleeping because they're always on the internet, or people who tend to use the internet not at all. But the case is really that these are outliers in a majority of cases, and usually if somebody is spending all their time on the internet as if they're addicted to the internet, it usually predicts the fact that there's an underlying problem that is not, based on the internet itself. They have another problem, and this is why they're using the internet as an escape mechanism. Still, the internet is not addictive, despite what a bunch of people say about it, so that's another one to take away from it. And actually, people who use the internet more at an early age tend to be less lonely. So that's pretty nice. Higher levels of social skills. You can build greater, variety of different skills there from an early age. And yeah, there are all these kind of things that happen on the internet because really it is a way to connect with people. It's a way to build variety of skills, and it's not this kind of harmful thing everybody thinks it is. The whole limited screen time thing also is not really a real kind of thing, it's not something really strongly based in science. So yeah, screen time's not really a problem there, but we're going to discuss that a little bit more in the next video. Still, one other thing I wanted to talk about in this first video is a little bit about Fortnite. As you know, this is a gaming channel. I don't really do much Fortnite stuff myself, have not recorded anything for this channel, but a bunch of people like it, as we well know. Still, there's this worry that Fortnite is addictive to a bunch of people. That, this kind of new game, oh, this is a problem, and people are playing it all the time, and they want to do this instead of doing their chores, and this is going to ruin society. There was a whole article about that for this first, bit of Unit 11. But But really, no, Fortnite is not anything new that's a problem there. And of course, you know, it's a fun game. People like to play games. There's nothing harmful about that. Can build up, you know, some of their attention blank skills as a shooter and whatnot. But, you know, otherwise, there's not really too much else to say. Not their mainstream attention skills, but, you know, first-person shooters are shown to reduce attention blink in perception psychology, if you guys didn't know that bit. Anywho, really, I mean, this whole like craze about how Fortnite is a problem, Fortnite is evil, but we can compare this to the craze about how pinball was evil. Pinball was going to ruin society. It was this time where pinball was thought to be, you know, all this gambling game for kids, and it was going to be money laundering through pinball, and pinball was the ruiner of society. It would, you know, ruin all these kind of things. But later it was shown to be a game of skill, had some modifications, and became a well-accepted thing. And now people are like, oh, how come nobody plays pinball anymore? So the prediction is that in roughly like 30 years from now, people are going to be like, oh, how come nobody plays Fortnite anymore? This just happens generation after generation. This is nothing new, okay? So a lot of the big scares about the internet, don't worry so much about them. In our next part, we're going to go through some of the ways to manage the things like screen time and parenting around, you know, the internet and such. So yeah, we'll cover that next time in unit number 11, part 2. But otherwise, for part 1, the big takeaway is the fact that the internet has many positive things for young people. And for development, with anything on the internet, it is not rewiring everybody's brains. It is not messing up society. Don't worry so much about it, okay? That's the big takeaways, I'd say. Everybody's always afraid of a new piece of technology, and until there's hard science to prove that there's something wrong here, I would say that you can just accept the fact that the internet is overall a good thing, and it's a useful thing even for young children. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys next time with part 2 of unit number 11. See you then.